Hello and welcome to my multi-object tracking tutorial. To get to this point you can go ahead and see my old videos or just go in the description and download the starting point source code. Okay, so this is the single object tracking code that we did earlier, and let's just turn it into a multi-object tracking. So go ahead and delete the tracker you created earlier and also the initialization here, but you can leave the read frame. So first, what you want to do is create a multi-tracker. So you create a pointer with class multi-tracker, like so, and you can name it multi-tracker, for example, and then just CV multi-tracker create. So this is pretty same as in the singular tracking code. And next, we want to choose the bounding boxes or the regions of interest. And this time we have many objects, so we need a vector. So you create a vector of type rect, like so, and you can name it bounding boxes, for example. And then we can just use the CV function select rows. And here you can keep the window name first, so I just name it video feed, for example. Then the input array, which is just the frame we read above. And then you want to keep the bounding boxes vector here, which we just created. And then I will choose the show crosshair false. And everything else I will just leave to default values. Okay, so now we have an option, so we can choose the objects that we want to track from the first frame. And I think it's a good idea to check if you actually chose any objects. So if you didn't choose any objects to track, perhaps you just want to quit the program right away. So you can make a check here that if the bounding boxes vector is smaller than 1, so basically there's nothing, then we can just return right away and don't do anything. But otherwise, we have to add new objects to be tracked to the multi-tracker. So this multi-tracker don't know yet what it's tracking, so you just create the for loop, and you can write const auto ampersand, and there you can write bounding box, for example, and bounding box. So if you haven't seen this before, this is the new C++ 11 introduced this range-based for loops, so they are pretty good. I think they are pretty readable. It reminds me of Python a little bit if you have any Python experience. The const is just constant, so we will not change the bounding box, so we can just declare it as constant. That's a good habit to have. And actually the compiler can automatically know what type the bounding box is, so you can just use the auto keyword here. And the ampersand just means it's a reference, so we are not making any copies, so that's a little bit more memory efficient. Okay, so we just take the multi-tracker, and then we need to add the object to be tracked. So here you can set the tracker. So for example, CV, I will just use the same KCF tracker here as in the previous video and create. Then you give it the frame, and finally you will give it the bounding box, so it knows where the object is, like so. Okay, so now we have initialized the multi-tracker, selected our regions of interest, and then we just need to update the update on each frame. So go ahead and delete this old code. And this is actually pretty similar. So you just take the multi-tracker. Oh, sorry about that. Multi-tracker, and you write update, and there you just keep the frame as an input, as an argument. And then we again create the for loop, so let's again use the range-based for loop because they look nice. And object, and you can get the object from multi-tracker by writing multi-tracker and get objects like so. And then we just need to draw the rectangle, just like in the singular tracking video. So we just write CV rectangle, like so. And then you give the frame as a first argument. Second would be the object. And then you give the color of the box, I will just perhaps do blue one again. And then the thickness of the line, I will put 2, and then the line type, 8, for example. Okay, so that's it. And let's run it. Okay, and let's just, you can actually see in the terminal that it says you can select multiple rows, select row, and then press space or enter, and then you can choose another one, and press ESC key to kind of start the tracking, or C to cancel everything. So let's just press ESC. Sorry, ESC. You must have to press it here. And what happens, it closes the program, because we made this check here, so if we don't choose any object to be tracked, it will just close the program right away. So let's run it again. And let's choose some objects to be tracked here. So let's choose here 1 and press enter. Then maybe another one here, and maybe third one here, and enter. And then I just press the escape key, and yes, it works. So basically now we are tracking multiple objects. And it's slower than single tracking, but that's expected. Yeah, it seems to work nice. If you want to try to make it faster, perhaps you can build it in the release mode, or try different trackers. Try to see different things. They all can affect the speed a little bit, but of course, the more objects you will have, the slower it gets. It's kind of natural. Yeah, so that's it. Not that hard. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.